Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you guys are all having a great day. We made it home alive. I turned like a 14-hour drive there into like a 10-hour drive on the way home because we just went overnight. We left at night and just mucked all the way back from H2O. Then I spent the day with my family, flew back, and I spent yesterday just kind of catching up and kind of like reflecting and looking at it and being like, every year I watch videos on H2O, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too, and you guys always think, you're like, damn, that'd be so cool to go. And then we went, and then once we got back, I was like, I just took a step back, and I was like, just being like so grateful that I even got to go. And it's because of YouTube that I got that chance. And I don't say that to like brag, I say it to inspire people, because I always wanted to do that, and I always wanted to do this, and now I'm doing both, and it's just because I set my mind to it and I did it. So if you want something, there's no reason for you not to have it. There's nothing standing between you and that except yourself. So that's all I have to say about that. But today we are back in the garage. We have some things to fix on the Civic, and for a lot of you guys that pay attention, at least, you know that I'm not happy about how this is open. And I told you that right from when we put it on. I was like, I don't really like this, but like I don't really know what else to do. And then if you watched, I don't know what video it was in actually, but we got a little filter from Lordco. It's like the Edelbrock filter, and we were gonna slap this over the turbo, just like right in there to kind of give it a filter, but it's too big. And basically the issue that we're running into with this stupid turbo setup is that there's no room here. There's like maybe a centimeter of room on the side of this here. No forward room. You can't put one of these guys right here because it hits this little line. So I was looking around online, and I found a bunch on eBay and a couple websites that sell them, but they're all like 50, 60. If you get like really expensive ones, they're like even more. And I was like, dude, I don't think we need to spend that much money. And what I want to do is just put like a screen there, because this is more restrictive than a screen. Basically, the more open this hole is, the more power you will have. So putting anything over that does reduce power, and there is people that run it without anything and they never really have an issue. They just run it wide open always, but I'm not that kind of guy because I'm scared that like rocks or whatever will get inside of it. So what I did, instead of spending 50, 60 bucks on one, is I went to Home Depot. I bought this entire aluminum screen, basically like screening like this on a window, except it's aluminum so it can take the heat and it won't like break if rocks or whatever hit it. And it was $9 for the whole roll, which is 36 by 40 inches, which is insane that I can get a whole roll for $9, and then the thing is like 50, 60, 70 bucks. Anyways, that's the entire cost of this whole thing we're doing today. Because when you buy a turbo kit, you're guaranteed to get a couple extra of these guys, because there should always be extras of those. And if I can get under here, oh, everything's a mess. Oh, there it goes. You also should always have a couple extra clamps. When you buy any kind of kit or anything, it usually comes with a couple extras of like things that could break, such as the clamps and everything. So you shouldn't have to buy any of these. And if you do have to buy any of these are like a couple bucks. So I'm calling this like a $9 turbo screen. If you had to buy those two things, if you didn't get it with your turbo kit, if you don't have extras, if your friends don't have any, if you can't get them for like free, which you probably can, they're gonna cost you maybe $5. So we'll say that in total, if you didn't have anything, this is a $15 turbo screen install. In reality, all you really need is this clamp. I mean, I'm using this to make it look prettier, so the people are like, oh wow, that actually looks nice for a $9 thing. But you only need this. If you're trying to do it like cheap as possible, you just need a clamp, and a clamp is like super cheap to get. So my idea is that I know that this fits around the turbo inlet. So if you reach in here, it doesn't fit in there with a lot of room, but I know that it fits on there. Let's open this guy up and see what we're working with. Basically, when you're buying something that you're gonna make a turbo screen out of, just make sure that it's like metal, because you don't want things to hit it. Oh, this is impossible to get open. Make sure that it's metal, because when things hit it, you don't want it to puncture it. And metal also takes the heat a lot better because it'll be on a very hot spot, whereas like the plastic stuff will probably just melt. But this was one of those ones where I couldn't find any of these things on like Wish or anything, and I need one. So instead of waiting and trying to find one for the next however long, I'm just gonna get it right now and do it. All right, we got the stuff open. You can see it's like it's pretty fine, but it's also like got some pretty big holes, so it should let a lot of airflow. Basically, the smaller you go, the less airflow you have. So like you could have got ones with pretty big holes, but then more stuff will get in. So I thought this was like the perfect size, where it's not too big, which will like still let small rocks and stuff in, but it's not too small to where it's like super restrictive. This guy fits around the turbo inlet. So what I'm gonna do, put it right here, and then just trace around it just a little bit more than this, because it doesn't need to like wrap all the way back. It just needs to make it over this little flange. So if the inlet is the size of like this inner tube, I'm just gonna trace just around the outside and then just cut that out. And I would think that would work. If not, I have plenty of room to try again. So now I'm just gonna cut this out in a little bit of a better circle than this blob I drew. And that's it. That is literally what is gonna stop our turbo from dying. So I'm just gonna push it in there with my fingers and try and make it like, so I can see where it bends. Like this. I love doing DIYs because you guys are literally watching me learn. Like I just kind of had no game plan. I had a game plan when I came into this, but like it was just a game plan. You know, it doesn't hurt to try things. If you guys don't just go in your garage and start trying things, sometimes you're never gonna get anywhere. Okay, so now I want to take a strip off of this, although I don't think these scissors, this was an Emerson Repairs. This was not a Robbie Repairs. This was a hardcore Emerson Repairs, and I don't know if they're gonna last when I try and cut this. They might just fold. Oh my God, they're actually working. Good job, Emerson Repairs. Killed it, bro. All right, and that's what I was going for. So, like I said, this isn't a necessary step, but basically now this is gonna go over this, and it's just gonna make it look a little bit prettier when it's all said and done. You'll understand in a second here. So what I'm gonna do is take my screen, and if I can just slip this on over top of it, we should be ready to go. Wow, dude, I can't believe this actually worked. I was like thinking of this all morning as to how I was gonna do this, but I didn't think I could actually pull it off like that. So now you guys can see why I put that little blue ring there. It just kind of gives it like a little extra. It looks a little bit cooler. And I mean, to tell you the truth, I could probably just run it like this, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try and get the threads to face down, because I feel like if they're facing down, it won't be so ugly. Dude, I can't believe this is working. Okay, so this is on, the clamp is on, and I put the clamp facing down, that way it's just kind of like less ugly. So I'm just gonna reach up in here somehow and tighten that a little bit, and then we should be good to go. Like that is like, it's a really cool, actually, little $9 filter. I feel really good about this. I think this is gonna do a fantastic job. Uh-oh, my socket is one with the turbo. Dude, that is awesome. That is so awesome. So now it still has pretty good airflow because like it still has some pretty decent sized holes. Like you guys can actually see into the turbo still through it. Whereas something like this is gonna be a lot more restrictive. It's still obviously a good idea. This will keep everything out. Like this is a better idea if you're running in like sandy, dirty conditions. But this is a good idea. This is like what this works, all right? I think all that's left to do is just take this for a quick little boost and make sure the turbo doesn't absolutely destroy this thing, because it wouldn't be cool to show you guys how to make this and then I drive it like tomorrow and it gets like sucked into the turbo and blows up. So I think we should go for just a quick boost, and not to have fun or anything. No, we don't want to boost just to have fun, you know? We just want to make sure that the turbo filter works. Exhaust sounds pretty good. There is something a little bit loose in there that will fix. Not stupid loud. It's actually like really conservative for the fact that it's a straight pipe. I think the exhaust issue is like there's a little wire screen in the actual exhaust, which is like part of what muffles it and stuff. And I think it's loose. And I'm pretty sure it's just rattling around. I'll show you another day when it's not like spewing out exhaust, that way you can actually focus in there. And due to the fact that we were already pulled over the other day before we went to H2O, I'm gonna keep it as conservative as possible. And I'm just gonna drive around my neighborhood a little bit, warm it up, and then once it's warm, I'll do a couple pulls just to make sure it doesn't suck the screen in. Alright, I think we're good to give it just a little bit more boost and make sure the screen stays on. I don't hear anything happening, so I think we're good. Dude, I love this car. This car is so much fun. I didn't hear any bad noises or anything getting eaten, so I'm pretty sure we're okay. I love this car, man. It's such a fun car to drive. Like, even though it only has 140 horsepower, which it's horsepower, by the way, not kilowatts. He had something on the screen in kilowatts, but you guys got all confused. This car's 140 horsepower to the wheels, not kilowatts. We're good, boys. We're good. I'm super stoked that actually worked. Usually things like this, like I said before, always go wrong. We ordered a turbo timer off Wish, so you guys gotta stay tuned for that. I'm excited to see if it actually shuts the car off, like if it actually works at all. But like right now, I'm just gonna let it idle back down because I boosted a little bit, so I'm just gonna let it like cool down just a smidge. That's all I'm gonna have for you guys today. This is how you build a $9 turbo screen, turbo filter, whatever you wanna call it. Later this week, we're gonna make we have like a flange for this, and we're gonna take the flange and weld like a screamer pipe up through the hood. We have to go pick up the hood from the shop, so like that's gonna happen later this week when I need Emerson for that too. I need another set of hands. But that is gonna be it. That's gonna be all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't seen the H2OI videos, go check them out because we did some fun stuff there. I was literally giving away merch for people to do burnout, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace out and stay committed.